Moving on from that now to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is in South Africa for the BRICS Summit. He's just about landed in Johannesburg, is what we're now learning. The Prime Minister has a packed schedule for the next 24 hours. In fact, in just a few minutes from now, he is going to be at the ceremonial welcome for all the BRICS leaders. South Africa is the host country this time around, which is why the summit is in Johannesburg. Prime Minister Modi there just about landing. His first engagement is going to be the opening comments that are being made by all the BRICS leaders. Prime Minister Modi is expected to speak sometime post 8 p.m. tonight. Abhishek, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Abhishek, the Prime Minister has just landed is what we are learning. We're yet to see that ceremonial welcome coming in from the airport. Even as he makes his way from the airport to his hotel, we are going to be seeing the diaspora lined up as we do in every other country he visits.
Of course, and there was this planning of diaspora. We have seen several comments by some of the Indian diaspora who have been living in Johannesburg for generations that they're pretty excited about Prime Minister's visit, and they are hoping to have some chance to have kind of interaction also with the Prime Minister if Prime Minister happens to address a diaspora gathering living in Johannesburg. Meanwhile, Prime Minister's official schedule is really busy because as he has landed within hours, he is going to start his interaction with BRICS leaders. The 15th Brics Summit Business Forum Leaders session that will be starting in 1 hour from now. And the statements will be made by all the leaders from South Africa. Cyril Ramaphosa, the president, will be making this statement. From Russia, Sergei Lavrov, who has been representing the Russian Federation, will be present. However, most likely President Putin will also be making this statement through video conferencing. From Brazil, the President De Silva has arrived. And from China, President Xi Jinping has already arrived. He's also arrived in South Africa as a state guest. So all the 5 leaders of BRICS countries are going to be under one roof, and then they'll be making a very detailed statements of about 20 minutes. And after that, their leaders will arrive at Summer Palace, where there will be a photo opportunity. Probably all the leaders will be in one frame.
Yes.
One of the rare occasions, especially in the context of India-China bilateral relationship, that Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping could be clicked in one frame.
And that will be most important, that first image of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with President Xi Jinping, whether there's a bilateral or not, there is no confirmation yet from the Ministry of External Affairs. But many believe that there is going to be at least a pull aside, if not a bilateral meeting between the two leaders. And all eyes are going to be on that meeting. Abhishek, do stay on with me, because like we've been discussing, the Indian diaspora is awaiting Prime Minister Modi's arrival in Johannesburg. Listen in to some of these reactions that came in earlier today.
I just wanted to share that we believe that the meeting of the BRICS Summit is going to be extremely important for South Africa as well as India. We are so proud of the fact that Shri Narendra Modi ji is going to be here on our soil, bringing with him the value systems of India to Africa. And he understands that the ancient value systems all over the world, which is exemplified by the principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, is very important.
मोदी जी का तो बहुत बेसब्री से यहाँ पे इंतजार है, और हम लोग कहते हैं दिल बिछा के हम लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं. और क्योंकि मैं इस आयुर्वेदा बिजनेस में हूँ, तो मैं ये चाहूँगी कि मोदी जी जब आए तो हमारे लोगों को हमारे देश के आयुर्वेद के हिसाब से ब्रिक्स को आगे प्रोत्साहित करें कि ये हमारे आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन को आगे बढ़ाया जाए.
There is a diaspora event that's planned for the Prime Minister as well, on expected lines when he travels abroad, but about business, and it is going to be about the BRICS Summit, about India and the Prime Minister being the voice of the global South. And that's really something that the Prime Minister spoke of just before he left for Johannesburg this morning. Let's take a look at what he said in his departure statement as he embarked on this crucial tour to Johannesburg. This is what the Prime Minister said. He said he's looking forward to holding bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the crucial summit. This is an opportunity to identify areas of cooperation, not just between the grouping, but between different wheels of this entire alliance as well. The BRICS is a platform for cooperation agenda. That's really something that we have to look at, and we have to find common ground, was the message that the Prime Minister sent. The BRICS platform is to discuss issues of concern, issues concerning the global south, and their agenda needs to be the voice that comes out in this particular summit, is what the Prime Minister said. Development imperatives also on agenda. That is also what the Prime Minister spoke of in his departure statement. Reform of the multilateral system is going to be in focus. Remember, there is a lot of talk as far as expansion of the BRICS grouping is concerned, which is why the Prime Minister also focusing on that. Abhishek Jha continues to be with us, getting us the latest on that. Abhishek, as far as the expansion of the BRICS grouping is concerned, what is really India's stand, and who are the countries that are eyeing to be part of this grouping?
So the expansion is on the agenda this time, especially China and Russia. They are keen on having this, large number of countries who want to be the part of this grouping. While India, US, India, South Africa, and Brazil, they have been little hesitant about diluting their stake in this 5-member grouping, because the minute the more members are included in the grouping, their problems and their concerns will also be part of the agenda that the group will try to address. The group, which has been conceived as an developmental bloc and which help each other in having economic development furthering their economic interests, doesn't want to be in the quagmire of geopolitics and geoeconomic, unpredictability. In that context, that has been kind of a situation why India has not been very keen on having it. But yesterday, Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra has cleared India's intention that India is looking at the proposals and the whole issue of expansion with an open mind. But only the countries who want to be the members, they will have to abide by the guidelines. The membership will have to be approved by the guiding principle that the BRICS member states have laid out, years ago. And as for that, if the expansion happens, talking about the countries, from the entire world, 22 countries have lined up to be the member of this grouping. The countries are from Gulf to Europe to South, Africa and to Asia. From Saudi, UAE, Iran, Bolivia. You have Greece also, Turkey. They are all Indonesia. They are all wanting to become part of this major grouping, and that is also, if it happens, it will be a huge, counterbalancing to G7 or another
Absolutely, and that fine balancing act is what India also needs to look at as far as the inclusion or the exclusion of certain of these member nations are concerned, if there is an expansion of the BRICS grouping at all. We'll keep an eye out on that, as for the next 24 hours, we see all of the BRICS grouping leaders convene there in Johannesburg. Abhishek will continue getting us those details.